Yeah, so this one doesn't count towards the backlog. I know. I have two problems: buying games and playing Destiny 2. So, too long didn't watch? The short is, this is good. And if you're looking for something to play that's easy to get into but hard to master, then this game is right up your alley. Alright, Ghostrunner is a mix between Cyberpunk, Mirror's Edge, and Ninja Gaiden. That's all wrapped up in a banging soundtrack. I played it on PC, but it's also available on Xbox One, PS4, and the Switch. It'll be releasing on the Series X and PS5 sometime next year. Now, before I get too far into this, I just want to touch on performance real quick. Ghostrunner ran fine for me after the first patch. First time I booted up the game, I couldn't get it to run at the full resolution on my monitor, and I think that was causing some input lag. There were too many times where my button presses wouldn't register and it would cause me to die. I put the game down for like a week or two and came back to it, and everything seems to be sorted out. I've rarely had any issues since then. Frame rates stayed consistent and the game responded the way it's supposed to. Just to let you guys know, I'm running a Ryzen 3700X, a 1080 Ti with 32 gigs of RAM. Alright, story. You were one of many of the Ghostrunners that were defeated by the Keymaster and her minions during a coup to oust the Architect. The Architect is killed during this, and Dr. Octopus, the Keymaster, rips off your arm and kicks you out the penthouse suite. You wake up sometime later with a robot arm and no memory of your past. Now, there's a voice in your head that guides you to releasing it, and it turns out it's the AI of the Architect, and he wants the Keymaster dead. The ghost of the Architect guides you on your quest, teaching you new skills, giving context for events in the game. Along the way, you get a call from Zoe, a girl, and she wants to be helpful. She's mostly not, but it's mostly there to give some more exposition on events in the tower. Oh, I forgot to mention that the last of humanity lives in a big ass tower after an event called the Burst killed everyone else and made the Earth inhospitable. So there's a resistance that Zoe's a part of called the Climbers. I guess because they want to get to the top of the tower. Not sure what they're going to do when they get there, but I guess. Anyway, all the Climbers were killed before Jack woke up. Oh yeah, that's your name. Jack. You are a cyborg ninja named Jack. Know what? I'm going to stop right there. Honestly, the story does its job and gives you the reason for separating people's heads from their necks, but it's nothing special. The story is completely told through comms while you're playing the game, and that's great. This game is about constantly being on the move, and if you get slowed down just a bit, the game just doesn't work. I have started a second playthrough, and I turned all dialogue off. There are times where you die a lot, and when you die, the voiceover lines will repeat themselves, and it gets kind of annoying. So far, the game is more enjoyable with the voiceover turned off. Alright, so moving into gameplay. Did I mention you're gonna die a lot? Because you're gonna die a lot. And they just released a hard mode, so you're gonna die even more. Just like Dark Souls, death is a part of the game. Almost everything in Ghostrunner dies in one hit. That includes you. So to make it through a section, you have to have the perfect run. You quickly get back into the action after each death, and you can use it to learn what doesn't and does work. Some sections seem extremely hard, but taking a different approach will get you through. Towards the end of the game, it really hit me that this game requires precision. There are sections that you have to hit the right spot and jump at the right time to make it to the next area. This wasn't really an issue before then, but it wants you to get good, and to beat it, you have to. Now, Ghostrunner is all about that hardcore parkour.
Parkour!
You'll be wall running, zip lining, web slinging, and sliding all over the place. If you're going to be playing on a mouse and keyboard, I highly recommend you configure your keys just right. There are times when you have to link a lot of movements together, and it's just better having everything in a comfortable place. Now, as you progress, you'll get different abilities like a slash that will block bullets and kill multiple enemies if they're dumb enough to stand in a straight line, and sometimes they are. A force push, which I use most of the time, and it can kill multiple enemies as well as push bullets back towards the shooter. There's a dash that slows down time and allows you to change your trajectory, which is needed for taking down certain types of enemies and getting around obstacles. While the game does give you a varied set of tools, you play the game the way it wants you to. I don't have a problem with this, but with so many games allowing you to play your way, it can take some time to get used to. Now, the gameplay isn't perfect. There are two things that really stick out. First, exploding enemies. This game has some range combat, but it's a time power up and it doesn't last long enough to kill all of them. so getting around them can be a little annoying, and one slip up means you have to start the section all over again. The second issue are the boss fights. Honestly, this game doesn't need them at all. There are two, one against another Ghostrunner and the other with the Keymaster. Each fight is boring and mechanically simple, which sucks because everything else in this game tests your skills. The first fight is just parrying correctly for a certain number of hits 4 different times and you're done. The parrying window is a little weird. If you get it wrong, her health comes back and it just keeps going. I actually had to look up how to do this fight because I thought I was doing it wrong, which I wasn't. I was just getting some of the parrying wrong. The next boss fight is at the end, and while requiring you to do a few more things like jump over this and dodge that, it's still boring. These encounters completely stop the flow of the game, and if they had done something like Spider-Man and you had to chase down the bad guy and there was a QTE here and there, look, I know I just recommended a QTE, and honestly, it would have been better. Okay, we're gonna talk about music next. Well, I'm just gonna let this play and you can make up your own mind. Like I said in the beginning, this one is good, and I really enjoyed my time with it. I'm going to leave y'all with some gameplay from the craziest part of the game, and if you made it this far, go ahead and throw me a like and subscribe. Later.
Now you can take it down.
Security protocols compromised.
These systems were placed at every elevator station.
Welcome to Amita Elevator Station. Have a safe trip. Welcome to Amita Elevator Station. Have a safe trip.
I don't think it can actually see you.
It doesn't need to.
There's no time to waste. It'll only get harder.
Welcome to Amita Elevator Station. Have a safe trip. Welcome to Amita Elevator.
The bigger they are,